everyone. I'm Diane Macedo. We're coming on the air with breaking news now. We're following a shooting at a Transportation Authority facility in San Jose, California. Multiple people there are injured. The Santa Clara Sheriff's Office, though, has confirmed the suspected shooter is down and the incident has been contained. They're now holding a press conference. Let's listen.
West Younger Avenue in the city of San Jose. This building is a VTA control center, a Valley Transportation Authority control center. It is a hub that stores multiple VTA trains and maintenance yard as well. Multiple deputies, including surrounding law enforcement agencies, arrived to the scene for an active shooter investigation. The information I can tell you right now is very preliminary. I can confirm with you right now that we do have multiple victims and we have multiple casualties at this point. I can't confirm the exact number of injuries and fatalities, but I will tell you that there are multiple injuries and multiple fatalities in this case. This still is an ongoing investigation. We do have multiple agencies here helping us out with law enforcement side, as well as with the county fire side, city fire department, and multiple agencies. I will tell you about the suspect right now. The suspect is confirmed deceased. I will not go into details as what the cause of death is at this point, but the suspect is deceased at this point, so the public safety is safe at this point. This is still an ongoing investigation, like I was saying earlier. We will have another press briefing in probably about 1 hour, and I'll be able to give you an update from there.
The victims tied to VTA, are they employees or families of employees?
The victim, with the victim as of right now, there are VTA employees that are victims. In regards with the suspect, I don't have that information at this time.
What were they doing at this office? Were they having a meeting?
So I don't know at this point as what transpired with this incident, but it's still ongoing. So probably give me about a couple hours and then we can give you an update from there if we have that information.
Indoors or outdoors, the shootings?
I don't know if this was indoors and or outdoors at this point.
How many rounds were fired?
Was it a semi-automatic?
I don't know. I do not have the information on that point.
Can you tell us, were there at least 5 fatalities?
So there's a lot of speculation on injuries and whatnot, fatalities. I don't have a number for you. Give me about an hour and I'll give you an update with that from there. Everything is still preliminary, just occurred. We have investigators on the scene trying to figure out exactly what happened. So right now we're trying to set up a reunification, get victims out to where they need to go and get medical treatment at this point. That's the most important thing right now.
Where are the victims going?
Get information.
1 second, one at a time, please.
You know what kind of weapon was used?
I don't know what kind of weapon at this time.
Where can family members get information about their loved ones?
Good question. Family information. Right now we are staging our reunification area at our Sheriff's Office headquarters, which is next door, which is at 55 West Younger Avenue in San Jose. If anyone has any type of information regarding this incident, please give us a call. It can be anonymous in that case or just hard information of the case, but we can get as much information we can get in regards to what transpired in this case that will help us out as well. But we do have investigators on scene gathering as much information as we can at this point to figure out what exactly happened.
You know how many employees work here?
I don't know how many employees that work at this facility. Once we do an update in a couple hours, I'll have a VTA spokesperson come out and we'll be able to have further information from them.
Can you tell me what kind of work
this was all happening? Like the call or...
Again, I don't have that information. So give me about 1 hour. We'll do another press conference and then give you an update from there. Okay?
Can you tell me what kind of work they do here?
What kind of security is on site?
And again, that was a press conference with the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office. The public information officer there was giving an update on a shooting in San Jose, California. The suspect, he says, is dead, but there are multiple fatalities and multiple injuries. I want to bring in ABC News correspondent Alex Stone and former FBI Special Agent Brad Garrett on this. Alex, it sounds like a lot of open-ended questions, but so far what the PIO there, the Public Information Officer, was able to tell us was multiple injuries, multiple fatalities. The suspect is dead, and they are still actively investigating what happened there.
Well, that's right. Diane, you could hear there that this is very early in the stage of the investigation, that it's still an active scene in the sense that it was only hour and a half, 2 hours ago that this began unfolding. We know from our sources that there are fewer than 10 victims in this. We don't know how many of those are dead versus alive, but we do know that and you heard him there say, the shooter is down, but still very, very early in this investigation.
Sure. Alex, what do we know about the security there at the building? Is this the kind of building that anyone could walk into, or do you have to have some kind of a security clearance to enter?
Well, we know from VTA, which is the Santa Clara County Valley Transportation Authority, that is the building owner. This is a maintenance yard, we understand. And VTA is saying that typically you would either need to have access to get in there, or you would have to break in some way. And so security, would appear, is pretty tight to get in there. You know, unlike many maintenance yards that you would think of, that you couldn't just walk in there when there are trains and other things in the maintenance yard of commuter trains. So right now it would seem like that either somebody had to break in or had access in there. Police are saying that they don't know if this person was an employee of VTA, what the motive may have been. We know that some of the victims, according to police, were and are employees of VTA, but the suspect getting in there, they say they don't know. This may go down the road of somebody who was or had been employed there, but VTA is saying to get in, it does take some effort. Either that or you've got to have access to get in.
And the sheriff's office there also said they couldn't confirm yet if this happened inside the building or outside the building. So that's another possibility they'll be looking at. And I want to bring in former FBI Special Agent Brad Garrett now, because the ATF and FBI are both responding to the scene here. Brad, what sticks out to you as an investigator when you're going to a scene like this? What are they going to be looking for?
So you clearly want to know if you only have one shooter. That appears to be the answer. Did the shooter possibly create other diversions and or other things that could cause harm to someone, like a car that's rigged with weapons or bombs? Or did he place things around this location? Now, keep in mind, based on what Alex is guessing, and I think it's probably right, when you have shootings in a location where they're not just, the public can't just walk in, and they do a specific thing, the odds are, we don't know this, of course, is that it's someone that was employed or is employed there, and this sort of fits the definition of workplace violence. If that's the
Looks like we lost Brad Garrett there. Alex, can you explain a little bit about what this facility is? This is the Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority. As of now, it sounds like this incident isn't expected to affect commuters, but do you know what kind of work goes on there?
Well, it appears at this point, from what we can see, Diana, is that this is a maintenance yard. In fact, we heard first responders coming in trying to come up with a name of what they were going to call this incident, and they ended up calling it the maintenance yard shooting. That it's an area where they've got commuter trains that come in and work is done on them, and other commuter-type vehicles come into. It is a rather large building, but again, it's a secure building that typically you would find if there's work being done on public transit vehicles. So it was early in the morning, 6 to 7 a.m. Pacific time when this unfolded. No doubt that many workers would be getting to the building early in the morning, that this is a work area where there would be around-the-clock maintenance that is done on transport vehicles. But it is large, and it seems like there would be lots of engineers and people who would be working on maintenance techs, that sort of job description. But exactly who was in the building this morning, we don't know.
And Alex, we just had up the tweet from the mayor there of San Jose, Sam Liccardo. He writes, a shooting at the VTA facility on Younger Street has left several people being treated, but the situation is still being assessed. The shooter is no longer a threat, and the facility has been evacuated. I will update as more information becomes available. We heard there from the sheriff's office during that press conference. They're hoping to give another press conference in about an hour. There were a lot of questions thrown at that public information officer that he said right now they can't answer. But what are some of the main points they're going to try to piece together to answer questions in that press conference in about an hour?
Well, you know, I would say that primarily what is the number of casualties. And again, the speaker there a moment ago, that police officer couldn't give a real indication of that. all he would say was that there were multiple victims. We know that from our numerous sources telling ABC News it is 10 or fewer, but how many of those are dead and how many are alive, we don't know right now. And that's still being assessed. It's fluid. Some people may have gone to hospitals and then they don't have a good accounting on what their condition is. It appears that the shooter is dead. So obviously they won't be getting a lot of information motive-wise from that shooter. They will get a lot of indicators based on if the shooter worked at the facility, either did now or did before. That would indicate a lot. We don't know. Again, VTA is saying to get into that maintenance yard, you'd either have to have access to get in or would have to break in. But the real question being, I don't think we're going to know motive by the next update. Motive may take a little while, but two big aspects that we still want to know an exact number of those who have been killed in this shooting, and then did the shooter work at that facility. That'll answer a lot. But again, Diane, this is really unfolding right now, that there are still resources that are going in. The ATF and the FBI are headed in that way right now, that there's still a response going on, that it's still so early in the investigation, they say they don't know a lot.
All right. ABC News correspondent Alex Stone, former FBI Special Agent Brad Garrett. Thank you both. So again, a shooting there in San Jose at a transportation authority facility. Police now say the shooter is down. The situation is contained, so they don't believe there's any more risk, but they are now investigating. They say they have multiple injuries and multiple fatalities. We're going to have continuing updates right here on ABC News Live throughout the day, including a press conference that's now expected around 12:30 Eastern time. Terry Moran and I will also have a complete wrap-up at 3 p.m. Eastern on The Breakdown. Thanks for joining us. I'm Diane Macedo. Stay safe, everybody.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.